Hey, what's up, everybody? Cowboy here, Algo Factory Tech. You can see that banner across the bottom. You can see this QR code I'm about to throw up on the screen. If you want to come check us out, zap that QR code. What we do is we help people learn how to trade. We help people build trading algorithms. It's not as fancy as it sounds, and you do have the opportunity to create your own income stream. It takes time, takes work. It's not an overnight thing. And anybody that tells you that you can say, "Hey, come trade my system and you'll make money overnight," probably a scam. Just so you know, decent chance it's a scam. But if you do put in the work and you teach yourself how to do this, we will give you the tools to go out and learn what there is to learn. We have our own university over at www.algofactor.tech. We got a Telegram room that we are in all the time. We hope to see you over there. Let's take a quick look at the calendar today with what's going on, and then we'll take a look at some crypto charts. Bitcoin is kind of mobbing upwards. It's getting a little bit exciting. Let's see here. Still publicly, I do expect some kind of a pullback in Bitcoin and crypto at some point in the next month. But you never know. There's always that chance. This time could be different. But the past several pre-halving years, this was a time for a pullback. You would see price kind of head up in October and November and maybe a little bit of December. And then you see a pullback. And then the price kind of flattens out for, I don't know, a year. I'm sorry, forgive me, not a year, for the first part of the year, and then eventually starts to move back up in the summertime. That's the usual pattern. So we're gonna take a look at what that might look like. Here on the calendar today, overnight we had the British pound CPI. That's their inflation number. So as that came out, there probably was some excitement in the British pound market. We'll take a look at that on the forex markets. We do have the consumer confidence numbers coming out this morning at 10 a.m. EST. So whatever trades I'm in, I will either be out of by then or now that's in a forex market. I might keep a crypto trade. It depends on what's going on with that trade. But just the same, I would be tightening up stops or something along those lines at that time. So that's that. And then, of course, tomorrow, a little bit more data coming out. Unemployment is a weekly number. Final GDP quarter over quarter is a big number. Now, these numbers are, and we talk about this all the time, but they may or may not be real. They could be a little bit fudged, as most numbers are coming out of large groups of people. However, whether or not they're fudged is not that important to the trade. The charts are going to react to the number as if it's real, and therefore we as traders will react in the same manner. We have Friday British pound retail sales overnight. That's overnight for us in the US. So at the London Open is when that'll happen. A little bit Canadian news. Their GDP comes out at 8:30 a.m. EST tomorrow, along with another inflation metric that could make the markets a little bit spicy. And then we have the University of Michigan consumer sentiment, which is one of the last major data points of a given month. So we'll take a look at that, or at least we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see how that rolls out or on Friday, I should say. So let me take a quick look at the comments, see if anybody has any questions. Nothing on YouTube. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, notification bell, all that stuff that they tell you to do helps us out, brings people here. So definitely do that. And yeah, looks like we got some people watching over in the private group. It's good. Private group, go ahead and ask some questions. If you have charts you want to see, we'll throw those up. I'm going to go ahead and land on Bitcoin here. And we have had an interesting look. A lot of the market is poised for a pullback. And I hate to say it, but as much as I want to be correct in my assumption I guess that's the right word, in my thesis that we should see a pullback, and I think we will. I don't know that it's ready yet. I just don't know. Let's see. I know this is the weekly chart, and the weekly chart was showing a little bit of weakness, just a little bit. It's not like it's going down; it's clearly on an uptrend. The high time frame is bullish, right? The weekly itself is still relatively bullish. It's just kind of taken a break, and it could continue upwards. That's very possible. Will we reach our all-time highs of, say 68,000 or 69,000 before this kind of run is up? I don't think so. I think this is going to be like a suckers rally, personally. Where it's going to come close to the all-time high or halfway there, or whatever the number is. But again, I think it's going to stop somewhere around here. It might grab some liquidity up in the kind of high 50s, or beside the low 50s, before it heads down. That's always possible. Let me see if I can grab some liquidity maps and see where all of the liquidations are on some of these exchanges here. I'm going to see if I can get a free credit, and there we go, 10 free credits. Love it. All right, so let's grab the liquidity map for Bitcoin. I hate when it does this. There we go. All right, so we have liquidity around 47,000. I know a lot of people got their eye on 48, and then there's liquidity at 51. And and there's a ton of liquidity sitting at 43.7, and that's been there for a long time. That liquidity has been around, and it's been real sticky, you could say. So let me head to, maybe the daily chart is the way to go on this. Okay. So 43.7 and kind of around that. So like, say the 43, let's see what it actually says here. Really, it's going to be 43.6 to 43.8, basically, but heavy at 43.7. So let's map that out. 43.8 right there to 43.6. You got a real strong bit of liquidity right there. Let me stretch this out to make this relevant. Relevant and mappable. This is a lot of liquidity right there, and it's just above, and that makes sense because you have all this price action right here. Then you have these kind of tips right there. So price is probably going to want to jump up and grab that. And then on top of that, you've got a fair amount of liquidity from 46.7 up to, say, 47.3. So 46.7 to 47.3, right? So let's map that out. 46.7 to 47.3. So there's that. Now this here, I think, actually is more liquidity in a concentrated area. So this bit below, even though the box is smaller, I'd have to look a little harder, but I believe it's actually more liquidity. But there's a fair amount sitting up here at 47 or 40, and a lot of people are watching that price. And we'll zoom out and look as to why that is here in a few minutes. But let's go ahead and finish this map. There's a fair amount of liquidity sitting from 50,000 to 50,800. Okay. And then there's more above that, but we're not going to worry too much about that right now because we go level by level. And so we're going to a couple levels up here. So we'll have like a block just like this. All right. So these are your liquidity blocks, more or less. Now, if we zoom out a little bit, we'll be able to relate these to some of the past price action, right? So if we go on the weekly, we'll be able to see that we've got this sort of, what is this, 48,000 top right there. And then we have a 52,000 top. And so those are areas where price may not go. Or they'll want to head maybe up to that, but turn around. They're possible pivot points, structure points. That's kind of how that works. There's one right here. There's a little tiny move up that was rejected on the way down, where price is right now. So that's, kind of, you're seeing price act around there, and that's not a coincidence probably. There's a good chance there's a reason for that. But as of now, it does look like price is about to at least pop up into that first liquidity block, that 43,000. That's just a pretty thick liquidity block. I mean, that's like very concentrated in this small area. For price to jump up here is extremely likely, if you ask me. Um, Now, algorithmically, the daily chart is bullish. The weekly chart is, like I said, it's still bullish. It's kind of taking a break, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least for this to kind of, might take a little longer. It might happen right away. It's hard to say which way that'll go, but at some point you might see something like this happen, going up to 47. And we talked about that. Now, if it goes up here, you have a lot of people who think that that structure from way back when is going to keep price from heading up. Bitcoin is a wily beast, and Bitcoin does like to wreck the shorts. So a lot of people will probably go short because of this old structure way back here, right? And so they probably, go short thinking price is going to turn around. Bitcoin loves to punish the shorts. So if price jumps up like that and people go short, you might see kind of one of these consolidations and then another grab up higher. And that's, a lot of people have this thesis right now that are kind of more of your, more of your trader types have that thesis. And I think it's a good thesis, for price to run up and grab this liquidity. Price tends to not go where it's supposed to go until liquidity is cleared out of the market. Until the traders are exhausted. That's usually when you see price kind of start to go and do what it's supposed to do. And until these traders are in the leveraged markets are exhausted, until they've been, just ruined over and over again by stop outs, then you're going to see price going towards these liquidity areas, right? And then when the liquidity's gone, then you'll see the price go where it's supposed to go, and you see all this liquidity above price. So there's a decent chance the price would have otherwise gone down. But then again, we're also going to understand that the rest of the market, the traditional finance market, is also going up, and it is not uncommon for crypto to follow that. We mapped this out. I think we mapped it out on the public show, but I'll just do a quick overlay so you can see, this move up in crypto is really, I mean, yeah, sure, it's the right time in the crypto market for things to go up. But if you just look at traditional finance, you'll see that this whole move up also is followed. It actually follows a traditional finance move up. See, this is the SP 500. So Bitcoin and its move up is not, it is coincidental in the strictest of terms with this move up in TradFi. It's not like Bitcoin's just doing this by itself. Everything's going up, right? So everybody's like, say, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to the moon. Well, maybe so, but is it doing it by itself, or are people taking profits from TradFi and able to put that into Bitcoin? And that's quite possible. Now, my understanding is that retail is out of money. So, whatever's happening at this point is probably institutional, I guess. They tend to get interested after price starts to show a lot of, a lot of volatility at times, depending on whatever their numbers are, however they do things. But I'll be looking at that 48,000. Definitely. The 43,000 has already been breached. So, it's already gone up to from nearly 45,000. So why not 48? The liquidity's there. Let's see if we got any requests. Okay, and by the way, for those of you watching in the private room, I probably will take a quick break, just an intermission, at as soon as we flip over to private. Okay, so I guess I will, for now, take a look at Ethereum. And Ethereum just has been lagging compared to what it kind of usually would do. A lot of these other sort of Ethereum alternatives are doing really well. Solana has in particular been performing. So we'll take a look at that as well. Let's have a drink my coffee here. Okay, good coffee. I get this stuff. It's called Verna Street, and it's good stuff. It's organic, all that healthy stuff, but it's like it's got that taste, man. Okay, looks like I got a little test trade that's getting real close to target here. Let's see if I can take some profit. Yeah, it looks like it's going to take its own profit. That's nice. Yeah, it's pushing up. I got an off-screen trade that I'm exiting right now. It was a quick scalp. I've got the scalping down pretty well on these markets, whether it be forex or crypto. Crypto is tricky because there's a lot more fees when you trade the lower time frames, right? One of the things about forex is that you can actually trade that lower time frame, and the fees are just based on the spread and the position size. And not to say that Bitcoin's any different, but in order to make any kind of money on scalping lower time frame Bitcoin, the position size it's got to be pretty big. It's got to be sizable. And anytime you have a sizable position, you're gonna get hit on fees. So you really, it's almost like trading the 3 minute, on an exchange like that isn't going to be worth it. But I know my man Cool Cat, he's got a spot that's really good to trade. Um, for low time frame stuff. I might be looking into that exchange. Okay, so we talked about that in private though, private uh, live lab. All right, I'd call Ethereum lackluster at this point. I mean, it's gonna follow Bitcoin in a way. Obviously, Bitcoin is kind of heading up, but what you notice with Ethereum is that while Bitcoin is going sideways, Ethereum is kind of heading down, right? So you're not really seeing as much like of this sideways action building up for a move up. Now this could head up. I mean, you have this. We're kind of headed down and headed up back in November, and it was mobbing up like say mid October when everything else was right. So not to be unexpected, not unexpected, but you did have this move up like that. Not to say it can't happen again, but Ethereum used to lead the alt market in its moves, and it just doesn't seem like it's got the juice this time around. And it's understandable. I mean, you got, and I'm not saying this is why, but I mean, just my own guess. You've got Solana with coming out with potentially 30,000 transactions per second. When it's I don't even know if they have it yet. I think it last I read, I think it was around 10,000, which is still way more than the more vintage cryptos, but or legacy crypto, whatever you want to call it. But I think they're gearing up to upgrade to like 30,000 transactions per second, which is insane. I think credit cards are something like 4 or 5 a second, 4 or 5 thousand transactions a second. I mean, you're talking about speed that is able to just lightning fast speed. Now Bitcoin and Ethereum have layer twos that can happen very, very quickly. Obviously, Bitcoin has like the Lightning Network. Ethereum has Polygon, aka Matic. So there are solutions for that. However, Solana is its own layer one, and there are coins being built on it. And even now, um, some of the bigger meme coin traders are turning to the Solana coins right now to trade the Solana meme coins. So it's pretty remarkable what's going on. We're at a time where some of these coins might be, some of the crowd might be moving away from this legacy market. However, the thing about Ethereum is that Ethereum has kind of that blessing, from what we can tell. It seems to have that blessing of officialdom, right? So anytime officialdom is going to give it its blessing, I mean, they really control the game in a way that is bigger than you know. So I would look at this though, if I were just to kind of do some pattern type stuff, it might be breaking out of a falling wedge. This is a falling wedge, and that is a bullish breakout. These break out bullish when they do. So basically, Um, you might be looking at a breakout of, if it breaks out, you can go as high as here or here. So that's, I mean, falling wedge breakout is more like kind of just it tends to break out bullish, but it doesn't necessarily keep going. It can, it's possible, but the targets would be something like 2330, 24,000 on a breakout like that. And from an algo standpoint, um, on the daily, it's a little lackluster. On the weekly and the monthly, though, I would say it's still pretty bullish. It looks like Bitcoin on those time frames, and the volatility is pretty high on the weekly. So, as of now, I would think that if it breaks out, it will break out to the upside. As of now, again, if we do end up getting a monkey hammer in crypto in general, of course, Ethereum will head down. But as of now, it just hasn't happened, and until it happens, it hasn't happened. If you take my meaning. So we'll take a look at Solana here, and that might be what we have time for before we flip over to the private lab. And I can tell you, Solana, that's bullish just all around, algorithmically, right? So, Solana just wants to go up. If we were to look at some history in Solana, then we could like map out some high points and get dreamy on it. We have this what I think is an all-time high for Solana sitting at 262. We have 144 as a stop-off point. Okay, so we could do fib retracements to see where it's most likely to go. It's like high time frame stuff, and this 144 is right below the 618 on the larger move. So 144 is a decent. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go all the way up here right now. It might have to take a break before it reaches that. But, if things keep going up and if it's different this time and, if crypto is behaving very differently this halving cycle, then, price headed up there is not unrealistic. Now, on this most recent kind of move down, starting in March of 22, your fib is sitting at here, this 618. And that's at $91, which is not that far. I mean, this is actually pretty likely that price will see 91 before this move up is finished. That I would be not surprised to see at all. Even if we do get the monkey hammer in the next month or two, I think it'll hit 91 before that. I know a lot of people are saying $100 Solana. Why not? That's reasonable. We're coming from lows, very low lows. Solana got hit hard because of FTX, so it went below $10. So right now, and I told people at the time, I said it. I said it. I said, look, Solana's fundamentals have not changed. Okay. This was a MT Gox scenario. So for those of you who don't remember or know about MT Gox, that's Magic the Gathering Online Exchange. This was crypto. I think this happened in 2015. And this was a Bitco scenario. Bitco. Wow. This was a Bitcoin scenario. Okay. Now, you call me Janet Yellen, Bitcom. This is before I was into crypto, and Bitcoin was used to buy and sell Magic the Gathering cards. There's an exchange, and that exchange, I believe, was out of Japan. And so Bitcoin was just the money that was used for that, right? And then a lot of Bitcoin was held at that exchange for that reason. And so that exchange fell apart. And I don't know the entire scenario, but long story short, someone ran with that money. Now, I think that money's been recovered. The guy got caught and, all that stuff. But if you think about it, the Bitcoin price at that time tumbled. It went down really low because everybody related the MT Gox scenario to Bitcoin. They didn't understand that with crypto, you got to hold your own keys. Otherwise, you don't have control of it. You got to hold your own wallet, hold your own keys. And all that crypto is on the Magic the Gathering exchange. So when somebody took that money and ran, a lot of the market was like, Bitcoin's bad. And it just went down and went down. And when it did, one of my buddies spent about $10,000 on Bitcoin when it was well below $100. And now he's got millions of dollars in Bitcoin, right? So the same scenario happened with Solana. FTX was built, and FTT in particular, it was built largely on Solana. So, Solana did really well because of that, because FTX was getting so much attention, right? I mean, look at this. Solana just rocketed up. So now you've got a scenario where FTX happened, and I think it happened around here in 2022, and so you saw price just get sucked down really hard. But I told people at that time, so Solana's fundamentals are unchanged, unchanged. It's just that it's being associated with FTX, and Solana is a good buy right there. And I told people this. I told it. I was vocal about this. So looks like I was right. Okay. We're at the end of the live lab. Let me make sure there are no questions in the private group. It's pretty quiet in there right now. Let's see. I know some of our crowd might be over watching Cuss with Gus. I think he's going to start a little bit early today. Yeah, no questions. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end this this private lab. Like I said, come check us out. We are helping people build their own income. I win trades in here like lately. It's been every day or near it. So, for people who want to come see me, I tell people where I'm going to, get in first. I get in, and then I tell people where I'm going to get out of a trade, and I get out, and there's people who are like following me. And I'm not saying that we're not like a signal room. I'm not putting those trades up for you to trade them. I guarantee you though, people are probably trading them. It's not, I can't stop you from trading it, but we're not a signal service. It's just that I'm putting these trades up so you can learn how to do it. Right. And you get to see my trades. So, and that's been happening all week. And I think I lost one and won like 4 or 5. So, it's really looking good out there. So come check us out. You can have that visibility as well in our private chat. It's in a Telegram. And as far as Telegram is concerned, we're in there. We see the Telegram questions, all the time. The only time I don't see is when I'm asleep. So we have an amazing service, $49.99, which is that's promotional. That's not gonna last. 2024 is gonna blow up for us. We're gonna be doing some advertising. We're gonna bring some people in, and once we get up to a certain size, that price will increase. But if you get in before we do that, then you will get to have that price grandfathered in, and that's a beautiful price. I mean, look. Let's just say that you say, I'm going to do Algo Factory next year, right? Like, I'm going to do it in March. Well, by March, we might cost $100 or $200. So just getting in before that is actually going to save you money in the long term, because Algo Factory is not something that you like join for a couple months. You can, but if you want to learn what we're doing, and especially if you're a newer trader, it's going to take time. Trading is not something that you just do. It's something that you learn. We teach it. So, unless you are just like home and learn very quickly and you don't have a job or something, then it's going to take you like several weeks to months to be able to even pick that up. Now we do what we can to teach you as fast as we can at a safe speed, so you're not losing all your money. And we do what we can to help you learn how to, be careful with your money and all those things. But it takes time. So hop in, get this price grandfathered in before we raise it. We hope to see you, and we'll catch you on the flip side.